welcome. Sorry Not Sorry Productions would like to acknowledge that we work, live, and create on Treaty 6 territory, traditional lands of the First Nations recognized in the Treaty 6 Agreement. This is also traditional meeting and living space of Aboriginal peoples not recognized by the treaty. As we come together to perform on this stage, we celebrate their tradition of telling stories and recognize that we are all treaty people. We would also like to take a moment to remind you not to text, email, or take phone calls during this show. However, photography and videos of the performance are highly encouraged to share on social media. Thank you for being present to share in these stories. Keep listening and sharing.
Hello, Internet! Welcome! Thank you so much for joining us. We are Sorry Not Sorry Productions, and I, of course, am your host and DM, Matt Ness, and you are joining us for yegDND! Thank you so much for joining us. This is a wonderful show that we put on every now and then, but especially now on streams every now and again on Tuesday, and I would just like to very much thank you for joining us here. We are going to perform quite a show for you, and what is this show? Well, this is yegDND. This is an improvised fantasy improv show. It's a long-form show where we have fantasy characters that go on a terrific journey and have choices and fights, and how those fights and choices are made. Well, what better way than the rules of Dungeons and Dragons? We use these massive 20-sided dice to decide what the fate of our characters are. And we do it all in an hour in this room with all of these cameras. And I am speaking to no one but everybody. Well, we're going to get this show on the road, but I just want to let everyone know that you can go on your phones. You can text your relatives. You can take pictures of YouTube if you want. But with that being said, I think that's everything that I have to say. But are you ready to play the greatest game? We'll see. We teleport now. We teleport now to Edmonton, Alberta, Capilano area, in one of the coldest and nicest basements in the summertime. On my massive sectional, which is really easy to fall asleep on. Oh, hello, guys! Oh, hello! Wake up! Wake up!
Oh, sorry.
You guys stayed the night, and now I want to play D&D with you.
Oh, good thing we're in costume.
Yeah, good thing we're ready, yeah.
You know, why would I be friends with you if you didn't dress up in your costumes of your yegDND characters all the time?
Right?
I wouldn't. I am so excited to have this adventure with you guys. Sammy, I'm so glad that you're back with this character. You know I love all of your characters, but they get better each time. First, we're going to start with you. Please explain your character, Sammy.
Yes. So I am playing Marley Moonslayer.
Okay.
She is a werewolf bounty hunter, by which I mean her race is werewolf.
Oh.
Her occupation is bounty hunter.
And I'm assuming she doesn't hunt werewolves.
No, mostly people.
Okay, so it's the opposite of a werewolf bounty hunter. What do you would think a werewolf bounty hunter would be?
Yeah.
You're just a werewolf and you bounty hunt.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You follow your nose wherever it goes.
Oh.
Hey.
Anything else we should know about this character?
I mean, she's just out there being a working woman. She is an entrepreneur.
Wow.
She is self-made. She is married. We don't talk about it.
Okay.
He's somewhere.
All right. Bit of an open,
yeah,
I don't care relationship.
Yeah.
All right.
It's complicated.
All right.
He was the werewolf who sired her. It was a Romeo and Juliet type thing. She's got other stuff going on.
Girl, I would leave him too. Well, I am so excited because Grace, thank you for coming to my house.
Aw, thank you for having me in the
Yes.
nicest, coldest basement.
We've never played with you before, and we've been playing for way too long.
Yes.
We've been playing for way too long in this game. Please, Grace, what character are you playing? What's the first character you're gonna play for yegDND?
No pressure.
Yeah.
My character's name is Belwyn of clan Ungard. She is a hill dwarf who has recently come into some sorcerer powers.
What?
Yeah, which tend to come out at like inopportune moments.
Whoa.
Her clan is currently dishonored.
Oh.
Yeah, they hail from the Ellisnora Highlands.
Oh.
But they've been kicked off by the evil god Earthnul. And now she lives with clan Macagor.
Oh.
On the Saxgar hillside.
Wow. Wow. Locations.
Locations,
I love me
locations.
my locations. So yeah, you're just trying to regain your honor as a dwarf of this clan.
Yeah.
So the evil god kicked you guys out, and then they were like, "Hey, Belwyn, we've been looking at your stuff and we don't like you, so please leave." Is that
Well,
what...
it wasn't so much as a we don't like you. There was an incident that occurred where Belwyn was like, I've messed up, so I'm going to learn more about these powers, and then to redeem myself to my clan, I'm going to restore honor to them.
Wow, you're saying dishonored? I'm hearing honor already.
No,
you know?
thank you.
So, you know what? These are like two of the coolest characters ever. You guys are going to be really excited of where I'm going to bring you and stuff. Maybe there's going to be some emotional turmoil. We'll see. Maybe people will die. I hope so. But you know what? We're going to get there in this episode of yegDND! Oh! I was just stalling. In the great pine forest, next to the dwarven hills and the elven woods, this forest, dark, green, foggy, frosty, and a little bit of sparkles. For this wood is called the Mesocaria. Now, what is the Mesocaria? It is a sacred, spiritual land. The expanse goes on for miles and miles, with two very specific biomes. The one I just explained, the piney, the cold, and across a rickety bridge on the other side of this forest is a nice, beautiful meadow. Now, the Mesocaria is both sacred to elves, but especially dwarves. For elves started in this land, curated it, toiled the soil, if you will. And the dwarves, it was a gift to them for the years and years of war. But there's even more special about this place. And Belwyn has something to do with this. This is one of the many ways that you can bring honor back to your clan as a dwarf. You can scale the Mesocaria all the way through the forest, across a rickety bridge, and to the meadow, where there is a undying tree that grows leaves that not only not die on the leaf, they never fall, but they never die after being picked either. These leaves are symbolic beyond all comprehension to these dwarves. And Belwyn, alongside with their companion, who they've been traveling with, Marley Moonslayer, they are on this journey. And Marley, very confident that this will be very simple to bring honor back to Belwyn's clan. And they go to the foot of the forest, where they have an unexpected greeting before they come into the forest. We see our characters now.
Don't you worry, Belwyn. You are going to get your money's worth. Marley Moonslayer always gets her gold.
Okay, Marley, whatever you say. I'm just so excited to be in the pine trees of the Mechagor. It's one of my favorite places.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You been here before?
Only once when I was a little dwarf. Came with my clan and my grandpa Belmere. We played in the trees. It was a great time. And then he told us the story about the undying tree on the other side, which is why we're here.
Exactly. Only one pine forest, rickety bridge, and sweet rolling meadows where absolutely nothing will go wrong.
Absolutely nothing. I can't think of one thing that would go wrong.
The land used to be cultivated by elves, and those guys are a bunch of pushovers.
At that very moment, a dozen pixies come out of the trees, giggling with joy and jovial laughter. And they greet them into the forest.
Hello. Welcome to our forest.
See, it can't be that bad. There's pixies.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Not bad.
I mean, as pleasurable as I remember it as a young dwarf.
Might I warn you that danger lies ahead?
Danger!
Previously, we were 85 pixies. We did not all make it back.
Oh no.
I think math is not my strong suit, but I think that is 82. Gone.
Yeah.
Because there's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Great.
So what happened to your kin?
Horrendous pain, terror, so much death,
Darkness.
and that's why there's only 3 of us.
We have fun.
Yeah?
Well, we tried. Not for a while, but
In recent times, something dark has begun moving through the pine trees.
something terrible and unknown. You can hear it before it arrives through its whispers. You can feel it through the dark tendrils of shadow that wrap about your feet and harry your wings. And all you can do is protect yourself and hope you are one of the few that makes it.
Like us 3.
Marley, that doesn't sound. Thank you for the warning. We appreciate that.
Mighty obliged. Now, here's the thing about being a werewolf is you don't get to be a werewolf without being the darkest, scariest thing in the forest. So whatever's torn apart all of these pixies ain't gonna get to a werewolf.
All right, if you say so. I mean, the pixies are rather small compared to us, so I feel like we've got.
A dwarven sorcerer
Yeah.
and a werewolf? I think we're good to go ahead.
Trees moving by, sorry.
Okay, let's embark.
Embark!
And they embark. But before we leave the entrance, we see one more figure following them. And this figure matches a lot of the descriptions that we were told by the pixies. This figure walks with a purpose toward the entrance.
The hunt carries on.
The hunt carries on indeed. As our heroes are walking through this forest, it is quiet, cold, but it is a beautiful, beautiful landscape. The fog just above your head. And as they walk, they ponder upon a babbling brook going to fresh water. It is the babbliest babbling brook that they both have ever seen.
Ah,
I have to say, I am a little wary of drinking strange water. Because that is, I'm pretty sure, where I got my power, so I'm just going to pass on this one.
I mean, survival check?
Do I need to?
Oh, yes!
yeah.
A survival check!
I'm gonna do a survival check.
I was talking to no one, for I am the mastermind. For your survival check, please.
Oh, am I rolling the survival
Yes.
check? Okay.
That is how we do things here.
I'm splish splashing in the river. Not a care in the world.
Your survival check is quite uninformed, with a 6.
Yep. Normal water. Completely normal.
I'm parched. I'm gonna admit that. I am a bit dehydrated. We've been walking for a while, but I'm still not gonna drink the water.
You got your toes in it a little bit. If you want to avoid it and not get drenched in it like I did, you may want to like do a jump across just because it's right here.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah.
The splash of the babbliest babbling brook is so loud that it captures the attention of the forest's apex predator, the large bear. Standing on its hind legs, it is about 10 feet tall and 4 feet wide. 3.5.
Fight check?
Yes, I thought you were going to say something cool, but fight check is cooler! We are going to have our first fight check of the night. The red die for our big old bear, and this purple die for our heroes. We shall roll to see who wins the battle. For the bear, I said he was 8 feet tall, but it's a 10. Which makes him... Anyway, he loses. Because it's a 13! Our heroes roll.
All right, I will cover you from behind.
Okay.
The babbling brook creates a huge babbling explosion.
Hail of thorns!
Acid splash!
The bear is utterly embarrassed and whimpers away.
Wash yourself off. Get it? Because there's water.
Yeah, I get it, Marley. Thank you.
Yeah.
The heroes jovially win their victory and they scamper off. That was easy. Totally simple. But their next location is one that changes the landscape a little bit. They hop onto a rocky, sharp quarry. One that completely escapes the trees. It is now a wide expanse, rolling down a long hill, and they must cross it, but it is quite treacherous. They now ponder upon this great, large rock quarry.
So what are you thinking? Ranger?
Right, Ranger. So let's get a lay of the land here. How good are you at climbing? Because I'm thinking we could either go straight down and then straight back up, or you got some sorcerer spells, I bet.
I was just gonna say I could try spider climb or feather fall if we want to go down and then use the spider climb to come back up.
I'm about the spider climb.
The spider climb.
Well, for this, I believe, for our players, we're going to give you, with the spell, a dexterity saving throw. Going across this large expanse. I'm going to give you a +2 on your saving throw, just because you have a spell that's specifically designed for something like this. So I shall roll it. And it is a 4 plus a 2. This is not going to go well.
Spider climb.
Yep, I feel bespelled.
Yeah, right. That's
Alright.
the goal.
Okay, so we're just gonna like vault over and I'm gonna stick is how it's gonna work.
I hope so.
Alright. Not how it
Rocks
works!
come loose. Oh, they're sticking to the rocks, but the rocks are loose.
A rock slide commences as our heroes slide down with it, getting damaged and cut and bruised as they roll down this hill. All hope is lost, and looking on the cliff where they had just fallen, we see a familiar figure looking down. But how are they going to get down? Well, it is like they float on air and walk very casually over an open space of atmosphere. Shadowy footsteps laying in their wake. We go now to a crashed rock pile with like one of their heads poking out of the pile like this and one of their heads poking out of the pile like that.
You know, Marley, I'm really sorry about this. This is a product of the whole wild magic sorcerer thing, that the spells don't always work as well as we'd like them to. So, yeah.
It's alright. I got a great constitution. It's fine. And, you are? I mean, I am. Sorry, Bowen.
Are you feeling okay, Marley?
You know, it's the darndest thing. I think there may have been something weird in that water that I drank and splashed around in, and we just fell off a cliff. We're here. We're here. I'm fine.
If there is any moment that Marley should not be confused, it should be right now. For two high-ranking elven soldiers come and confront the two who have made a huge mess to a sacred zone.
Oh!
Hold!
Halt!
You
Have
desecrated
our
quarry!
how
Dare!
you
This
is
elven
land
and
we
will
not
stand
stand for
it.
it.
Okay. We're really sorry. That was a total accident. I cast a spell and it just like didn't work. But we're just trying to get to the other side of the quarry. You know, because I am a dwarf, I do know some things about rocks. And I can tell you that the moving of the rocks hasn't changed the quality of them at all.
Oh,
Really?
Can I roll a persuasion check on that?
Yes, you're trying to convince them of what exactly?
That there's no real problem, that the rocks are fine.
Okay, all right. I'm going to say that you're going to have to roll higher than a 13, because they know these woods pretty good,
That's
you know?
fair. Yeah.
So a 13, maybe?
All right.
Okay, all right. Oh, and you rolled an 8. The dice are not favorable to the heroes today, but sorry, they know better than that.
Okay.
wrong.
Incorrect.
You
Have
changed
these
landscapes.
because
You
are
bad
this
was
clearly
your
fault.
to
The
rock.
zone.
yeah.
To the rock zone indeed. And as they are being reprimanded for quite a crime which they tried to pursue, no, please come back, sorry. As they do this, there is a figure that appears behind them. And yes, it is the same one. The guards notice them instantly.
Egads!
Brother.
With mighty speed, this fighter, this warrior, destroys these two elves instantly. The attention has been captured by our heroes.
Well, Marley, that's a bit bigger than a bear.
It gets me weird. I don't know what it gives me weird. Fight check.
We are doing a fight check. And one thing I must do once more is give a disadvantage on the poisoning which has been done on Marley. They will roll the purple die, and this this shadowy undead creature will roll the red. Shadowy undead creature, you have a hand free. And with a -2 on the purple die. Oh my goodness. A -2 is, really bad. But for the villain, so is a natural 1. And a -2 is bad, and maybe this was a 2 and now it's a 0, but it's actually a natural 20!
Marley Moonslayer, I've come for you.
And you're gonna leave empty-handed.
The creature gets up without a fault, as if it did not faze them one bit.
I can smell it. It's undead. It's undead. There's something not...
But since you rolled the natural 20, it is much more than you think.
My nose knows this. What does my nose know, DM? What does my nose know about this?
This is a familiar body. You've come by it before, but it hasn't smelled so rank since you last killed it.
Oh, heck. This is my some bitch daddy that won't leave me alone from beyond the grave. Salt! Salt, you shit! Gotta use magic against him. He's one mean.
The salt actually affects more than you think. And it becomes a powdery soul that skimpers off. You have just been in the presence of a revenant. A ghoulish, revengeful creature that gets born out of the wrongdoing that it's been done. It hunts and is directed after the person who wronged them. And apparently, that's Marley. Oh yes.
Bilwin, I don't think this is gonna be as much as a walk in the park as I thought.
What was your first clue? The bear or falling down the rocks? And
Hey.
now we have a revenant?
We beat the bear, first of all. Second of all, when I killed my father, I did not think he would come back as a revenant.
Okay.
Look, I understand you know something about restoring honor to your family.
Absolutely.
That's why you're here,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why you paid me to come with you to help you retrieve the leaf.
Yes, leave from the undead tree.
Undead tree. Perfect. Something you better know about me.
Uh-huh.
My dad never approved of me marrying a werewolf or becoming a werewolf. Part of the reason why I don't have nothing to do with my family anymore is because I couldn't stand the fighting.
Oh.
I'm not like you, Belwin.
Oh, Marley, I'm sorry about that. Family's the best. I'm sorry that yours sucks.
I'm sorry that my undead father is going to plague what should have been a very nice quest between you and I.
I mean, stuff happens, right? Shall we try to figure out how to get out of the quarry so that we can get to the meadow?
I believe so.
Okay.
We're gonna keep
going? Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Little do they know, they are just feet away, basically, from the rickety bridge. Yet, we're going to take just a little break and a recap for you what had just happened, if you're just joining us. Now, we have just arrived in the Mythology. The Mythology is a large expanse of land, wood, meadow, rickety bridge, and it is a sacred ground for Belwin's family. Now they're there to collect an item, an undying leaf, to bring honor back to the family. But they are being pursued by a revenant, an undead hunter of revenge, who is actually after our hero Marley. And we figured out from Marley that that's actually her father, who disapproved of her lifestyle, so I assume she killed him, which is a choice. That's a choice. Not all of us would make that choice, but that is what occurred. And now they are so close to their goal, but now there is a threat, one that both of them know maybe is not over yet. We now join our heroes. They're actually just resting. Marley is now completely slept off this poison from this too babbled of a brook, and now is finally healed and is looking inward in what maybe they have to do to overcome this hurdle. We join them at their camp, which is on top of a large tree stump.
All right, now that I got that goofy juice out of my system, always never trust a pixie. When you go into a forest and there's pixies there, lessons learned, we don't drink the water.
Yeah, I also said to not drink strange bodies of water, but here we are. Anyways, not the point. The point is, what do you think would appease your undead father at this point so he doesn't try to kill you again?
The only thing that my daddy would ever accept was unwavering compliance. He wanted me to follow step for step in his footprints. Very fire and brimstone cleric.
Okay.
I think he would. I don't know if there's a way I can divorce or unwerewolf, but I don't want to give up my cool wolf powers, because then I'd lose my job. I wouldn't have a vocation anymore.
That's tough, because independence is also important.
But I do want to apologize for drinking from the strange stream. I forgot that was...
That was indeed how I came into my sorcerer powers, was drinking water that I knew I shouldn't drink, so...
Their conversation continues, but the Mesocaria is no stranger to eavesdroppers. Now, in this large forest, right before they go on their rickety bridge, there is a figure that is behind a bush, listening very closely to what they're talking about. They hear of magic users and removing certain ailments and curses, and this piques their interest quite very much.
Anyway, I got a cordon of arrows spell set up around the camp. It's like little mini landmines.
Hi, folks. I was hearing. Ow! 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 Ow!
It worked.
Hi there, travelers. Sorry, I couldn't help but overhear that you were talking about a bunch of magic that needs some solving, and I thought perhaps the wacky woodland wizard might be able to help you out with that. I'm a wacky wizard and I live in the woods.
I think we got
that.
We got that part. What would you want in exchange?
Oh, I'm not looking for anything in exchange particular. I live in these woods because I find it's one of the best ways to get at the magic of the world. You see, within the Mesocaria, there is a grand legend of a beautiful undying tree. Surely you've never heard of it.
No,
Never.
not once.
Never once have heard
No.
the beauty of the Mesocaria elm. Oh, and I go around, I collect some of the leaves from the elm, and I use them to crush up into powders to make my magics. You see, not only is this area magical, but that tree is magical. And by certain properties, if the tree is magical, then so too are the leaves magical. Hey, you see, if there's magic in the leaves, they can help with all sorts of remedies, even beyond the scope of your typical ailments, like what I'm gonna need for all these arrow wounds later.
This is awfully convenient, and but, wait, were you trying to get the leaves so that you could remove your sorcery?
No, I was trying to get the leaves to return honor to my family, and then maybe we will consider removing the magic after the leaves have been...
Because they wanted you to get the leaves
to restore honor to the
by
clan.
removing your magic.
Not necessarily. They love me either way and will accept me into the clan. The removal of the magic is completely on me to decide.
It now finally clicks with Belwyn.
They were going to.
They were going to...
I mean, you had it, but that's why we've been on this whole. You knew. I thought it was like a trophy. I thought it was some sort of prize. I thought it was a symbolic gesture. You're trying to. You might get rid of your. Are you out of your gourd?
Just really inconvenient sometimes. Like, it doesn't work all the time, and then it comes out at really inopportune moments. And frankly, like, I really enjoy being at home and working on my artisan activities. I make a mean necklace, if you didn't know.
Wow, this was a heck of a lot more drumming than I thought when I first started listening in on y'all behind the bush. But I must say, though the tree, the Bezkari elm, is very powerful, removing any sort of lasting curse upon your personage or the very magic within your veins both would require quite a lot of the leaves, perhaps this whole season's harvest. If you took all the leaves off the tree, I think you'd only be able to accomplish one of these two goals of yours.
Well, Marley, frankly, I don't see how it's any of your business if I decide to remove the magic or not. You were just hired to help me get the leaves in the first place.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess you're right. I was only hired. I am a completely neutral third party with no personal investment in the matter.
I mean, other than the fact that your dad's here, but that's not related to the tree bit.
Yeah, and I would rather be haunted by my dad for the rest of my life than ever get rid of my werewolf powers. So, it sounds like we keep going towards this tree.
Mm-hmm.
I do my job as a professional, as I always have.
Mm-hmm. We thank you, Wizard, for presenting this information to us, but I don't know if we need to purchase anything from you.
Oh, no, I'm happy to talk to anybody who happens to set up camp on top of the stump that is my home.
We're terribly sorry, Mr.
Oh, no impositions. I'm just back from my daily leaf gathering. The bridge, the rickety old bridge, is just through those there bushes there.
All right, Marley, you're feeling unpoisoned. Can we continue, I guess?
Yeah, we'll continue on and let me know if you've got a Patreon, I guess.
I should look into that.
They did, and they're very successful. We go to the rickety bridge. Marley feeling a little standoffish now that a truth has been revealed, and maybe there wasn't camaraderie there that they thought. Typical Marley behavior. It always happens to Marley. We now go to the infamous rickety bridge, and it is ricketier than you could ever picture it in your mind when I said it 17 times before. It is on one long rope and then one long, worn-out single string of the rope that has been worn out for years and years. Every third and seventh, let's hope that works, third and seventh board is missing. And some of them look like if you stepped on one, it would turn to dust. This is known as the bridge. Both Belwyn and Marley are looking, and it seems like a windy, windy day.
magic buff that we could use.
Oh, that's interesting. A magic buff, you say? I mean, nothing. Never mind.
I'm just trying to find a solution to the problem, Marley. I really don't appreciate your tone.
I'm just saying, would you rather do a dexterity check or an athletics or some sort of strength check?
I think athletics?
Athletics. Well, athletics to get across a bridge. So you'd like run strongly across it, or you'd jump across the. What's the athleticism here? Like,
yeah, the jumping.
You're just
and
gonna
like a hurdle. Right?
Yeah, and you're gonna try to land on the strong
ones that
boards.
don't look like us. Yeah.
You know what? That could work, but very risky. So I'm gonna say a 12 or higher for this one.
Can I use
Oh,
the
and
magic?
Marley, what do you want to do? Because you obviously don't want to do whatever this person's doing.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna use magic instead. I'm gonna use an ensnaring strike to sort of zip line across.
Well, heck yeah, I'll give you a dexterity saving throw. That's some aim, I would say. So here you go. So dexterity saving throw and an athletics check higher than a 12. Try to beat a 10.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Perfect. And a crazy plan of athleticism, but it works because you rolled a 13, Melvin. Oh, and ensnaring strike is effective. Not just that effective, but very effective with a 19. And you both get across the bridge in your own ridiculous way.
After you. Oh, dang it, I forgot she was a dwarf. Ensnaring strike.
And they get past the bridge with no fault of their own. The camera shifts as if now they're both behind me, and now the bridge is this way, and then they're behind me, and they're closer to me than they are before, and waiting on the bridge the entire time is their enemy, the Revenant, the Daddy.
Daddy Moonslayer. Just taste how that feels in your mouth. Daddy Moonslayer. Ugh. Ugh.
Yep, doesn't sound good.
Doesn't smell good neither. Hey, Daddy, you want to have a nice little family reunion?
You could say that, Marley. My soul cannot be at rest until your stain has been removed from the Moonslayer name. I cannot be at peace knowing what you are.
Good. You don't deserve to be at peace, frankly.
And nor do you.
Fight check.
And the gloves are on. Yes, this is good stance. And we will do a fight check. And for our heroes with the purple die, Belwyn, if you will. And since it is your fate, Marley, you shall roll your father's die. We shall see who wins. With a 14, the heroes triumph with a high number. And that, quite frankly, beats a 3. We shall see what happens in the showdown of father and wolf.
Come at me. You're slow, old man. You're slow and you're stiff. You ain't never were any good at nothing. Wolf out.
Okay.
Marley transforms, and a moon is being seen closer and closer, illuminating a great evil.
I'm over here if you need me. hard was excessive, though.
It's a werewolf custom.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to be rude. Sorry.
Yes, a wonderful feat of strength. Just you defeated the father. Oh, it's wonderful. It's a revenant. The revenant will not go away just by killing it. You must reckon with your ghost or you die. The revenant, with the blood of fallen pixies in their veins, they resurrect and do something that I'm just gonna make up, and they get a reroll against the 14. We remain with the heroes 14, and the revenant themselves will
Just
roll.
let me
Okay,
do
okay,
it.
all right, I was doing it. So scary.
You can tear out my heart, eat my entrails, rip me limb from limb, but I will always live inside of you.
You rolled a 12.
Oh, damn it. I rolled
That was a 12.
12. Wait. I thought the repugnant smell of your wolfishness was what was tickling my nose. Then I thought it might have been the poison water I left for you, but... Oh, it's the revolting smell of self-esteem and contentment with oneself.
Black tendrils extract out of this ghostly figure, a huge spirit flying through the air. And what remains in the center of the stage is the soul of a pitied man, with one final goodbye to the one that they lost. We see Daddy Moonslayer. It's just sticking. Daddy Moonslayer, a golden aura. Not much left.
I spent my whole life trying to save people, and I failed my only child. You didn't fail, Daddy. I'm strong. I'm safe. I am mother-loving magic.
You know, I never did like that word.
I know you didn't.
You know, my family, dwarves, we're not so fond of magic in general, but I'm a sorcerer and they've accepted me for all my flaws, even when I destroy ancient relics by accident.
And I know that I destroyed our family. But maybe if we'd been a better family, it wouldn't have been that easy to destroy in the first place. And maybe if you'd ever seen me, if you ever knew me, if you ever cared about me, maybe I wouldn't have run off. Maybe I wouldn't have had to break your heart. Maybe we could have been a family. All three of us could have been a family. But instead, you waged a war. And he waged it right back. So I left both of you in your nonsense. So if you can't find any eternal rest, that's on you. And if he can't find any eternal rest, that's on him. Me and my friend Belwyn have an undying tree to find. You are dismissed.
Darling. You're right.
I always was.
Fading away we now have our final scene of the night. We have come a long way, but finally, standing in the center, a large elm tree full of leaves. Now, when a leaf grows old, it changes color. Now, these have been on the tree forever. They are multicolored, a rainbow of color on these leaves, and none of them fall, all staying. Coming up to the tree, we have our heroes. They're panting, they're tired, and they've come a long way.
Just like Grandpa Belmere described. Wow. Isn't it beautiful, Marley?
Yeah, it really is. Well, I don't want to say that I'm like my dad, but he can be a stubborn, hard-headed son gun, and I know I can be too. I want you to take these leaves, and I want you to do with them whatever is going to make you happiest. So, have at her.
Thanks, Marley. I was going to say that I was very touched and moved by your speech with your dad, and I feel like if there were more, magical people in the world, specifically in like the dwarven world and where your family was from, then maybe people wouldn't be so, hot in the head when, things go wrong. So I think the magic's pretty cool for now. I gotta say, I think I'd rather restore honor to my clan with these leaves. Ooh, I'll take this one. I don't want to take too many. I don't want to be greedy like the wizard said. And I'll take this one, but I'll leave the rest for others.
That sounds real nice.
Thank you for coming with me, Marley. I'm sorry if I was rude. I don't know where I was going with that, but it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure too. This one's for my daddy, and this one's for Kolya. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
And to this day, those relics left there, they remain. For the elves, the dwarves, they're not sure why those things are there, but they know that it's special. And it probably comes from a vicious bounty hunter. This was a story about responsibility and coming to those moments where, you really have to face your demon, even if it's your daddy. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of yegDND. Thank you so much for joining us on the stream. You guys have been awesome. I assume I can't see you, but you guys, you're probably cheering and, oh, that's a 20, that's a 1. And thank you guys so much. If you guys ever want to know more about this, please go to our social media at Sorry Not Sorry Productions, SNS Yeg on Twitter, on Instagram, and all those social medias. Please follow us. Please follow the show. We're going to have Fringe soon, so we're going to need you in the future. Now, I want to introduce you to our cast! Yes, starting from this side, we have...
Sammy!
Grace, Shani, Susan,
Michael.
And Matt Nasser, DM! I would love to thank our musician, Katrina on the keys. Thank you so much. Sounded wonderful, and please give a round of applause at home to your technicians, the ones giving you this show right now, Karina and Liam. Want to give a big hand to them. Anything else I'm missing, guys?
Nope. Grindstone show?
Yes, we have a Grindstone show coming up in July.
on the 13th.
On the 13th, and the show is...
Isn't it 23rd?
23rd.
It's on the 23rd.
July 23rd at the Grindstone Theater, live in person, yegDND.
Thank you guys so much. Good night. Thank you.